Hello, everyone. My name is Tom. I am very glad to welcome you to this podcast. Thank you for listening and taking time to learn English with me. In this first part, I will introduce the topic of our podcast and also tell you a little about myself in a simple and clear way. This podcast is made especially for people who are learning English at a basic level, like A2. The main goal is to help you understand how to talk about yourself in everyday situations. When you meet new people in real life or online, one of the first things you need to do is introduce yourself. You need to say your name, your age, where you live, what you do, and sometimes what you like. These are very common and useful expressions, and you will hear them often in conversations. I am a young man, and I live in a small city. My life is simple, and I like routines. I am a student, and I study English every day. I chose English because I think it is one of the most important languages in the world. Many people use English to communicate, travel, study, and work. That is why I want to improve my speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills step by step. In this podcast, I will speak slowly and use easy vocabulary. I will try to avoid difficult grammar and complicated sentences. Instead, I will focus on short and clear phrases that you can understand and repeat. You can listen to me many times, pause the recording, and repeat sentences out loud. This is a very good way to improve your pronunciation and confidence. I will organize this podcast into several parts. In each part, I will talk about one topic related to describing yourself. For example, in the next sections, I will talk about my personal information, my family, my hobbies, my daily routine, and my future plans. Each part will help you learn new words and expressions that you can use in your own life. It is also important to remember that when you talk about yourself, you should try to be natural and honest. You do not need to use very complex language. Simple sentences are enough at the A2 level. For example, you can say, "My name is Tom. I'm 20 years old. I live in a small city." Or, "I like reading and watching films." These kinds of sentences are easy to remember and very useful. I hope this podcast will help you feel more confident when you speak English. Even if you make mistakes, it is completely normal. The most important thing is to practice regularly and not be afraid to speak. Every time you practice, you improve a little more. So, this is the introduction to our podcast. In the next block, I will start with basic personal information and tell you more details about myself. Let's continue step by step and learn together. Now I will tell you more about my personal information. My name is Tom. I am 20 years old. I was born in a small town, but now I live in a bigger city because I study there. I moved to this city to continue my education and to have more opportunities to learn and meet new people. I am a student, and my main subject is English. I study English at university, and I also practice it at home. I read simple texts, watch videos in English, and listen to audio materials. I try to improve my vocabulary every day. Sometimes I write short text to practice grammar and spelling. I consider myself a calm and friendly person. I like to communicate with people, but I also enjoy quiet time alone. I think balance is important in life. On weekdays, I usually have a busy schedule because I attend classes and do my homework. On weekends, I have more free time and I can relax or meet my friends. I live in an apartment. I share it with a roommate. We both study, so we understand each other and help each other when it is necessary. At home, I like to keep my space clean and organized. I think a clean environment helps me focus better on my studies. My family lives in another city. I visit them when I have holidays or free time. I have a good relationship with my family. We talk on the phone and stay in touch. They support me in my studies, and I appreciate that very much. When people ask me simple questions like, "Where do you live?" or "What do you do?" I can answer clearly. I say my name, my age, my job as a student, and my place of living. These are basic but very important details when introducing yourself. In general, personal information is the first step when you talk about yourself. It helps other people understand who you are. In the next block, I will talk more about my family and how I describe them in English. Now I'll talk about my family. My family is very important to me. I have a small and friendly family. We are not very big, but we are close and we support each other. I live in a different city now because of my studies, but my parents live in my hometown. My father is a kind and hardworking person. He works a lot to support our family. In his free time, he likes to relax and sometimes watch TV or read news. My mother is also very kind and caring. She takes care of the home and always helps other family members. She likes cooking, and she often prepares delicious meals for us when I visit. I also have one sibling. I have a sister. She is younger than me. She is still a student, and she studies at school. We have a good relationship. When we meet, we like to talk, share news, and sometimes watch movies together. Even when we are not in the same place, we communicate online and stay in touch. In my family, we respect each other and try to help each other in different situations. We celebrate holidays together when possible. For example, we gather during special occasions and spend time together. These moments are very important for me because I feel happy and relaxed when I am with my family. I often call my parents to ask how they are doing. They also ask me about my studies and my life in the city. We talk about everyday things, and sometimes we share our plans for the future. This helps us stay connected even when we are far from each other. When you talk about your family in English, you can use simple sentences like, "I have a mother and a father," "I have a sister," "My parents live in another city," or "We have a good relationship." These expressions are very useful and easy to remember. Now I will talk about my hobbies and how I spend my free time. This is one of my favorite topics because it shows what I enjoy in my daily life. In my free time, I like to do several simple activities. One of my main hobbies is reading. I like to read easy books and short articles in English. This helps me improve my vocabulary and understand new words and context. Sometimes I read for fun, and sometimes I read to learn something new. Another hobby of mine is watching films and videos. I prefer watching content in English because it helps me train my listening skills. At first, it was difficult for me to understand everything, but now I can understand more than before. I sometimes use subtitles to help me follow the story. I also enjoy listening to music. Music helps me relax after a long day of studying. I listen to different types of songs depending on my mood. When I am tired, I choose calm music. When I feel energetic, I listen to more active songs. In addition, I like spending time with my friends. We sometimes meet, talk, and walk around the city. We discuss different topics, share ideas, and have simple conversations. Speaking with friends is a good way to practice English in a natural environment, especially if they also study the language. Sometimes in my free time, I also review my lessons or practice English exercises. I think it is important to stay consistent and not stop learning, even when I am resting. I try to balance study and relaxation. When you talk about hobbies in English, you can use phrases like, I like reading, I enjoy watching films, I spend my free time listening to music, or I meet my friends. These are very common expressions and easy to use in real conversations. Now I will describe my daily routine. A daily routine means the things you do every day from morning to evening. Talking about your routine is very useful when you want to explain your lifestyle in English. I usually wake up early in the morning. I get up around 7 o'clock. After I wake up, I wash my face, brush my teeth, and get ready for the day. Then I have breakfast. My breakfast is usually simple. I may eat bread, eggs, or cereal, and I drink tea or coffee. Breakfast is important for me because it gives me energy for the morning. After breakfast, I prepare my things and go to my classes. As a student, I spend a lot of time studying. I attend lectures, listen to teachers, take notes, and sometimes work in groups with other students. During the lessons, I try to focus and understand the material. If something is not clear, I ask questions. Between classes, I often have short breaks. During these breaks, I talk to my classmates, relax a little, or review my notes. Sometimes I also use my phone to check messages or listen to short audio in English. This helps me stay in contact with others and also continue learning in small steps. In the afternoon, I usually return home. After coming back, I have some rest. I may eat lunch, relax, or take a short break to recharge. After that, I start doing my homework or studying new material. I try to organize my time and complete my tasks on time. In the evening, I continue with light activities. I may watch a video in English, read something, or practice speaking. Sometimes I repeat words and sentences to improve my pronunciation. I also review what I learned during the day. Later in the evening, I have dinner. After dinner, I relax. I might watch something, listen to music, or spend time online. Before going to bed, I usually prepare for the next day. I set my alarm, check my schedule, and make sure everything is ready. I go to bed at a reasonable time because I need enough sleep to feel fresh the next day. A good daily routine helps me stay organized and productive. When you describe your own daily routine in English, you can use simple time phrases like, I go to school, I have lunch, I study in the evening, and I go to bed. These phrases are very common and easy to remember. Now I will talk about my future plans. This is the final part of my podcast, and it is important because it shows what I want to do in the future and how I plan my life. In the future, I want to improve my English skills even more. My goal is to speak fluently and confidently. I want to understand native speakers without difficulty and communicate in different situations. To achieve this, I will continue studying, practicing every day, and using English in real life as much as possible. After finishing my studies, I would like to find a good job where I can use English. I am interested in working in an international environment where people from different countries communicate together. I think English will help me in my career and open more opportunities. I also want to travel in the future. Traveling is a good way to learn about different cultures and meet new people. When you travel, you can practice English in real situations, such as asking for directions, ordering food, or talking to locals. I believe this experience will help me improve my communication skills. Besides my career and travel plans, I want to continue developing myself as a person. I will try to learn new things, read more, and gain useful experience. I think personal growth is important in life. When you talk about your future plans in English, you can use simple phrases like, I plan to, in the future, I would like to, or my goal is to. These expressions are very useful and easy to remember at the A2 level. Now I will conclude this podcast. In this series, I talked about how to introduce yourself, share personal information, describe your family, talk about hobbies, explain your daily routine, and discuss future plans. All these topics are common when people speak about themselves. I hope this podcast helped you understand how to talk about yourself in English. Remember to practice regularly, speak out loud, and use simple sentences. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. Thank you for listening to my podcast. My name is Tom, and I wish you good luck in your English learning journey. Goodbye and see you next time.
Write a comment. 3 best comments get 20 English lessons completely free.